How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we got chapter 145 of Jujutsu Kaisen. This is going to be a discussion talking about the major things we got in this chapter and really trying to discuss the big points because there was a lot of stuff in this chapter we talked about. Getting right into it because I already recorded this once and I'm too stupid to plug in my microphone, so I'm doing it again. Now, getting right into it, we finally figured out exactly who Noritoshi Kamo / Ghetto / the Brain / whatever you wanted to call him or were calling him. His original name, as far as Tengen knows, which we can probably trust Tengen to know the truth on this one, his original name was Kenjaku. Great, awesome, that means compassion and like benevolence or something like that, or suggests those things, which Yuki brings up and says that's a load of shit, which, yeah, kind of just a little bit. Something I want to touch on real quick is this was thrown out as a joke to Yuji just interrupting because that's the way he doesn't care. And he asked Master Tengen, he goes, "Why do you look like a thumb?" Now, Tengen tells him he looks normal for a 500-year-old human. That Yuji would look like that if he were to live in his normal corporeal form for 500 years. That's interesting for a joke, especially because of something we get later in the chapter as well. So, gonna move on from that, touch on it a little bit later. Keep that in mind. Big thing. Big thing. Kenjaku's plan is basically to merge everyone in Japan with Master Tengen. This causes a problem because that will evolve them to something greater than a sorcerer, something more akin to what Tengen is now, and Tengen is somebody who has evolved to the point where he is now one with the earth. He's able to still have this thumb form inside of his barrier technique solely because of his barrier technique. That allows him to keep that physical form and keep his sense of self. Without that barrier, without that form, Tengen would have no sense of self. He would just be one with the earth in the ebb and flow. I'm sure there would be some side effects to this. Not really sure what they would be. I don't think anybody knows exactly what they would be. I don't think any of us really want to figure out what they would be. I'd prefer to just not, just kind of just leave life the way it is and yeah, we're good. So, doing this to a lot of people would cause a lot of problems because people don't have barrier techniques. People would not keep their sense of self. Every single person in Japan would all be one, and all be one with the earth. This causes a problem if one person rages out of control, because all of that negative emotion, all of that impurity, all of that cursed energy would flow through every single person. They're all connected, they have no boundaries, they are all one. So, one person gets set off in a rage, that means everybody gets set off in a rage. If everybody gets set off in a rage, that's a lot of negative emotion. That's a lot of cursed energy. And it's all going to be unleashed at once. Tengen says what happened to Japan when Kenjaku did this in Tokyo during the Shibuya incident, that would happen to the entire world if he's able to do this to all of Japan by getting a hold of Master Tengen. This is why Tengen wants bodyguards, because, and here's where we're going to get back to something I kind of want to connect to that 500-year-old thing. He wants bodyguards because Kenjaku now has Geto's body. What can Geto do? Cursed spirit manipulation. Tengen says he is more like a cursed spirit now than a human, so he is susceptible to cursed spirit manipulation. If Tengen can use cursed spirit manipulation on him, we also learned that the culling game can be used as a ritual to gather enough cursed energy. I did that in the last recording. I kept saying cursed spirit when I wanted to say cursed energy. I don't know why I kept doing that, but I did. If Kenjaku can use cursed spirit manipulation on Tengen, and he can use the culling game as a ritual to gather all of the cursed energy and everything else he needs. It's also said that due to the barrier technique and everything else, it's used to kind of transport people over to the other side. So if he can combine the ritual that is the culling game, using curse spirit manipulation on Tengen, his physical form inside of the barrier. And on top of that, he can use idol transfiguration to, I guess, mix the whole shit soup together. That is the end result. What happened in Tokyo will happen to Japan. And yeah, what happened to Japan will happen to, well, everything else. As you can imagine, this would be very, very devastating. So yeah, this is why Tengen requests 2 bodyguards to stay behind. That being Yuki, Choso, or Yuta. Yuki and Choso volunteer to stay behind. I kind of expected that. Not because I expected Yuki to want to keep talking to Tengen and Choso to just be like, well, I'm going to sit here and wait for Kenjaku because, well, screw that guy. Because that ties into, obviously, Noritoshi Kamo, who was Kenjaku, who did all the death painting stuff, and yeah, gonna keep that over there off screen. Alright, moving on from that. I kind of expected those 2 to stay because I did not expect Yuta, who just came back into the series after being in Chapter 0, to immediately leave the series again until we just hop back here when Kenjaku gets there to fight. Like, no, Yuta's gonna stay with everybody else. Which is exactly what it says. He's like, no, I want to stay with everybody else. Because Yuki asked me, he's like, are you fine with that? He's, yeah, I want to go with these guys. So, one more thing. Well, kind of 2 more things. We get the back gate, back door. I prefer to call it the back door to the prison realm. Prison, back door. I am a child. Anyway, moving on. We get the back door, the back gate to prison realm. We cannot open it because Gojo himself destroyed the only 2 ways to open it with, tools and stuff by herself. But luckily, there is a 1,000-year-old sorcerer who can negate curse techniques, which is basically the same thing that the Black Rope and Cursed Inverted Spear of Heaven can do. I don't know why I was going to say cursed anything there. The Inverted Spear of Heaven, well, it's a curse tool. There you go. Anyway, you got rid of both those. Those could negate curse techniques pretty much. Hana Kurusu, I'm going to call her Hannah. I don't know if it's Hana or whatever it is. It's Hannah. We're calling her Hannah. She can open it because she can nullify curse techniques. And she's a 1,000-year-old sorcerer. Where did she come from? Somebody please explain Hannah to me. Please. Honestly. Where did she, reincarnate due to the culling game? Pulling out a curse technique out of somebody and they got, her curse technique and she's just so powerful that they're, reincarnated her? Has she just been around for 1,000 years? If she's been around for 1,000 years, why doesn't she look like Tengen? Because Tengen said Yuji would look like that after 500 years. I'm confused. Does Tengen look like that just because of his barrier and curse technique and all this weird stuff that goes on with him? I'm guessing Hannah was reincarnated? Oh, maybe she's been around for 1,000 years? I don't think so. Maybe? I don't know. I have no idea. Somebody explain Hannah to me, please. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget that like and subscribe. I'm going to be coming back specifically with a video talking about Tengen and the whole being more like a cursed spirit and being 500 years old, but looking normal for 500 years old. That's how people would normally look at 500 years old. That's like a separate little, shit sandwich. And all this stuff with Kenjaku is like a big old pot of shit soup. Yeah, things don't look that great. I mean, yeah, we have Hannah, which is a good out, but we got to get her on our side first before any of this even really matters. And then, yes, Yuta, Yuji, and Megumi are going to have to compile 100 points in the culling game. I will also make a video on how they are going to do that, because that's going to be a little bit down and dirty, to say the least. Alright, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. I'm out.